Well, welcome. I feel like outcasts right now. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to another episode of the phenomenon known to mankind as Saturday afternoon's main event. Another perfect, cool little Saturday afternoon, 3:01 Eastern Standard Time. To anybody watching on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, we appreciate you. We thank you for going ahead and showing up. But beyond all, guys, I still have to be doing this. I'm tired of it. I am so sick and tired of it. But I have no other choice. If you do not know who I am, whether you are dumb, stupid, blind, or just plain irrelevant, I suggest you go back to school or go into your local library, get the biggest dictionary you can find, preferably Merriam-Webster, and look me up under the words phenomenal. Guys, it is I, the phenomenal one. And of course, here on a great Saturday afternoon, on Saturday afternoon's main event, I'm not alone because I have my co-host, my comrade, my dear old brother from another mother, dimension, century, you name it, we got it. He is the one and only limousine riding, jet flying, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, son of a gun, who is not having a hard time holding his alligators down. So, guys, without further ado, give me 2 claps and a peep snake.
Woo! Yes, we are here once again. Another great weekend. The weekend before the next weekend, because next weekend is a big wrestling weekend. So we'll get you prepared this way by letting everybody know that this Saturday, as we do every Saturday, we can't do this alone without the 3 tenets that keep everything grounded so that you know what you have to do. And those 3 tenets, as we always do, are laughs, good times, and all the wrestling news possible.
That works. That works. Well, welcome to the People's Nature Boy. Always great to have you on here at Saturday afternoon's main event, my friend. But of course, we're not alone. Guys, if you ever need to go ahead and get yourself some good laughs in on a perfect Saturday afternoon like this, we usually do this thing where we grab our cellular devices, we go into our phone app, go into the keypad, and dial the numbers 411. Guys, our other co-host, the one and only Mr. 411.
And they went and they said, "Oh, we won't badmouth him anymore." Now people are back to badmouthing him again, so it's just funny to me. It's like, yeah. But here's the good news. You know what? Even though I'm miserable and life is horrible, just so you know, I'm doing a lot better than Mason Rook's promo, and I'm doing a lot better than Marty Jannetty. So it could be worse.
Oh boy.
This is Saturday afternoon's main event, guys. Without Mr. 411, this ain't nothing but great, man. It's always great to see you, my friend. Good to see that you're a great spirits here on Saturday afternoon's main event. Shout out to our dear uncle, who is on a sabbatical, definitely on enjoying his time in the island of relevancy on that tribal chief schedule. But beyond all, this is same. We will go ahead and give you guys exactly what Pete said. Laughs, good times, and all the rest of the news possible. Again, to everybody that is tuning in currently, welcome. We appreciate you guys. Just letting you guys know, you guys can go ahead and like and subscribe on our social media channels, on our YouTube, on our Twitch, on our Twitter. Guys, if you want to subscribe, if you want to follow us on our Instagram, it will be at Saturday Afternoons _main event. Our Twitter being Saturday Main, and our TikTok also being Saturday Afternoons ME. But with that being said,
real quick, send a shout out to all the people watching on Twitch and YouTube and X. Hello. Oh, wait, I forgot. Hi, guys.
Mr. 401's forbidden trademark, the Chris Jericho special, indeed.
There you go.
But all in all, guys, we have a stacked show for you guys today. Of course, it might have been a slow wrestling weekend, but no matter what, you know that you can go ahead and count on us here at Saturday Afternoon's main event to give you your influx of news. And to go ahead and begin that off, it starts with this sound. It means it's time for one thing and one thing only. Peeps Nation no longer has to brace himself because it is time for 3 rope talk. All of the professional wrestling news that you can possibly get that consists within the span of the squared circle. We start off this week with our review of last week's Backlash. Of course, second pay-per-view post the new year of WWE, post WrestleMania, and we got pretty much what I would call a manure show.
Are you saying it should have been called Backwash?
Yes,
There
that's what it should have been called. But beyond all, a couple of matches on the card. We did have the main event, of course, being Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. We had Danhausen and El Torito.
What on earth was that?
I'm just gonna go ahead and do you guys a solid and just put up the match card so we can go ahead and have a sense of understanding what's going on here. And I'm just gonna let you guys shoot from the hip. How did you guys feel about Backlash, Mr. 411?
Yeah,
we'll go ahead and start with you, my friend.
So we're 0 for 2 with WWE involving Danhausen and things that come out of a box, which is usually supposed to get over. But now, for the second time, we get the minis. And I don't know, people speculated who it could be again, but I don't know. Listen, in terms of the crowd getting involved in the match, yes, they were. But for that reveal again, it was quite disappointing to many. And I didn't care about the match. Listen, in terms of, like, even in general, like last night, I'm watching, I know we're going to get into the review of SmackDown, but I don't want to see The Miz anymore. I can't see The Miz anymore. I don't want to see it.
I mean, I can't even be mad at him about that. I understand how you feel.
I'd like to see more of Maurice. Give me more Maurice, less Miz.
I think a lot of people will concur on that one. Yeah.
But, it's funny. As we're bringing up this card, that was the third match on the card. And I think we both were tired of that 11-minute and a half, weirdo fest. But beyond all, let's talk about the botch fest that happened at the beginning of the show, right? Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins, in which Braun Breaker finally went ahead and won against Seth. We know that happened. But the reality is, the Seth continuously have to go ahead and botch a lot of moves, especially when it comes down to the top rope, the flippy stuff. I mean, that's what we always usually talk about in the world of AEW when it comes down to sticking and landing on certain things. Is Seth Rollins past his prime on doing these moves? Please.
That's a great thought. You know what? It's a great thought because people talk about Punk and doing some of his stuff, right? And how he slowed down a lot. And should guys at some point retire some of their moves that once got them to where they were and just wrestle conventional? Just be a traditional wrestler. You don't have to do those moves anymore unless you can pull them off. Like, can we say AJ was still pulling them off by the time he retired? Yes. So it's that to everybody, but some people just can't, especially when you sustain so many injuries over the years doing said moves. Like, what is Will Ospreay going to look like in 5 years trying to do those moves? We see what Omega looks like now trying to do those moves.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're thinking about it in that standpoint, the one move that I thought that Seth should have stopped doing was the buckle bomb, for obvious reasons. But also now looking at Braun Breaker and the moves that he does, I think he kind of needs to either curtail when he does that top rope Hurricane Rana or just kind of stop it right now. Because I've seen him, the first time that we really made mention of him kind of botching that move, if you remember the match he had at CM Punk, the first Raw of the year, he did that move twice and botched it both times. So I think that if you continue to do a certain move, obviously repetition makes it better, and depending on who you're wrestling, and maybe the rope was wet, whatever the situation is.
LA Knight. Yeah.
Yes.
We talk about one move, right?
Yes. And if that becomes what is one of the great moves that you see somebody as athletic as Braun Breaker jumping to the top rope and then doing a Hurricane Rana. If you remember, Kurt Angle used to do a lot of those types of moves also, where he would just run full speed, jump to the top rope, and do belly to back off the top rope. Those kinds of moves were effortless and seamless, but after a certain amount of time, some of those moves you kind of have to either use in special occasions or just don't use them at all.
So real quick, what did you guys think of the finish? Because you always think about matches in terms of how you beat somebody, right? Did you like how they beat Rollins?
Rollins, If the storyline is Rollins is kind of searching how this happened as far as the way he lost, and especially knowing that we're trying to elevate Braun, I don't have a problem with the way that the loss happened. It's right now one of those things where Braun needs the win more so than Seth. And I think Seth losing the way he did, I don't think it hurt him at all. So I don't have that much of a problem with it. The issue is, what are they going to do with Seth afterwards? And I think going forward also, and this is something that we talked about as well, what is going to happen with Braun over the next few months? Because I think he's outgrown the vision. And when we talk about what's going on with Raw, when we get to our Raw review, he seems to outshine everybody in the group. I don't think he needs the vision right now. And I think that's kind of the question that they're going to look forward as they move him into the position of main eventer, because he's just on the cusp right now.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, not to go on a tangent here, but when we talk about the vision, I think all three guys, Paul, Theory, Breaker, could be on their own and have huge solo careers in this business going forward if booked correctly. Like, you can't talk about how, I mean, great, he's a tag team champion, right? Or is he still a tag team champion? I'm not even sure. Did they still have the tag titles?
Yes.
Okay. The thing is, Logan Paul could be doing so much more for this company, I feel. So you could make a case for the whole vision. Am I wrong?
Pretty much, yeah. I can actually see a scenario at some point where Logan Paul is WWE champion or World Heavyweight champion, even if it's for a small run down the road.
All three guys will be, for sure.
I mean, that's if they can go ahead and book Theory into the right position. I mean, let's keep it $150 here. Theory has genuinely lost his shine since Vince has left. They have, like, reported him to the back line of just like, you know what? Okay, we'll put you with Grayson Waller. Oh no, that's not gonna work. We'll put you with a Vision. Post Vision, look at what has happened. Tag team, genuinely, when we know Theory's capability in ring is
it's so good. He's as good as it gets in the ring.
Yes,
absolutely. I just feel as if booking is bad.
But and we've seen him cut good promos in NXT, so it's not like he can't do it. So the personality can come. I just feel like, and it's sad we talk about guys getting released all the time, right? Because creative has nothing for them. They got to come up with something better for him.
Yeah,
indeed,
and do it soon.
And that's definitely going to be one of our talking. It's going to be our final topic later on within the show when it comes down to talking about that. So I can't wait for that. But genuinely, what I like to talk about here is the match that genuinely stole the show. Io Sky, Asuka. Perfect match from start to finish. Damn near 20 minutes of great action. And we know the finish here. Io Sky defeated Asuka. Asuka in tears, hugging Io right then and there, raising her hand in the middle of the ring. And then we can kind of go into our Raw review when it comes down to it. It seems as if Asuka's leaving. What are our thoughts on that? Is that what the case is, peeps? What do you think is going on?
It looks like Asuka, if she's not leaving, then maybe she's taking some extended time off. Asuka, I believe, is in her 40s now.
She is, yeah.
And she has been wrestling for the last 20 years. From when she was in Japan, wrestling as Kana, wrestling the amount of time that she had with her run in NXT, being undefeated as long as she did, bringing her onto the main roster. She's done a lot. And knowing where she is now, I like the way that they kind of ended the storyline, given the fact that Kairi Sane was supposed to be a very important part of this. If Asuka is going to take some time off and she's done as a full-time wrestler, I don't have a problem with it. But the issue is, for all of the accolades that she has brought into the WWE, there's still a great deal that they have really underutilized Asuka in a lot of instances. It's kind of similar to what they've done with Shinsuke Nakamura, where they would bring in wrestlers who have great potential, Japanese wrestlers that have great potential, and then they underutilize them.
And used racist stereotypes, like Asuka has to speak like that for some reason, which is insane. It's just like, what? At least they finally let her talk normally in that final promo that she had in the backstage with Io.
Yes. And that's kind of where we're always at with WWE and the presentation of Asian wrestlers when they showcase them on television.
But from what it looks like in NXT, it seems like Shawn Michaels is doing a good job with Evil from New Japan as of right now, even though, we still have...
how funny is it that Evil's NXT and he's EO's ex-husband?
Go figure. Yeah. And the name, what did they give him? The new name is Naraku, I believe is the name that they gave him.
Yes, Naraku.
Yeah.
So you figure that, okay, maybe Shawn will go ahead and crack the code when it comes down to him in NXT, but we can only imagine that moving up to the main roster would go ahead and signify some kind of change.
Not to come off of, I just wanted to go back for a quick second. I was so happy that they had Trick Williams go over Sami Zayn because I knew that would happen, but I just wanted to make sure it did happen because Sami Zayn can go away, kick rocks, piece of garbage. I hate Sami.
Something tells me you don't really like him much.
No.
Hey, it is what it is, right? Especially knowing that Trick got a win this past last night on SmackDown. Going up against the Miz, which I know still it was probably
I had to turn. Listen, I love watching Trick work, but I can't watch the Miz. By the way, I have this shirt right here. It's a basketball related shirt, so it's not a Miz shirt. It has nothing to do with Miz being awesome. Okay, I promise he's not awesome. There's nothing awesome about the Miz.
You don't want to get flamed for being a Miz fan on.
No.
Exactly. But beyond all, when it comes down to Raw, there's something that I actually want to bring up that grinds my gears. And that is Roman Reigns. Okay. Post Backlash, we know Backlash. Look, main event him against Jacob Fatu for the world title. He ended up retaining after going ahead and sending Fatu into an exposed turnbuckle and then hitting the spear on him, which resulted in a 1-2-3. Look, plain and simple. WWE does not know what the hell they're doing. This is bait and switch of the Bloodline Saga 2.0. They are making Roman look strong in the process of him being behind family. The only difference now is that he's finding ways to win without the family. But it's still the same cocky, brash, and shit-face heel attitude that he carries in towards every entrance, towards every promo, towards every encounter within the WWE. And it's getting stale. WWE can't figure out what to do with him, whether or not their thought process is to go from this being that he should probably lose the title to Obafemi down the line or somebody else within the next couple of months. I don't care. The fact of the matter is, you guys have shown us plain and through that you guys had nothing planned post WrestleMania for Roman Reigns. Am I just wrong here? Or do you guys
wait, let me piggyback off of that. When does creative get future endeavored? Right? What are they doing? This is horrible. And not to go back again, but I have to quickly. What did you think of the finish? Were you okay with the turnbuckle finish with a Samoan getting hit? Now, granted, it's metal, right? So he could be affected by that. It's not a headbutt. But could they have done a better finish to beat Fatu?
Yes. You make this man come off for the last 3 weeks as this Samoan werewolf, unfazed, unmatched by anything. And you're telling me that this man was out here using the tongue and death grip throughout the match. And now all of a sudden it's not phasing Roman.
Yes, thank you. Exactly. That's exactly what I thought watching it. They just killed his finish.
They killed the finish, not just that. And the turnbuckle spot. That is supposed to go ahead and phase Jacob Fatu. The same Jacob Fatu who was going to war with Drew McIntyre some couple of months ago to the point where they were killing each other week in and week out, falling off scaffoldings of buildings and crap, and now all of a sudden a turnbuckle is what phases him to take a spear.
Yeah. And the crazier part about that is what they're doing is Roman Reigns and his push is on cruise control. Yes. They are letting it level out and plateau, and let it sit there until they have something to do with it. I don't like that in the sense that Jacob Fatu, like you just stated, it's one of those things that they could have come up with a better spot. Even if he got power bombed through a table and then was thrown back into the ring and then got hit with a spear, anything except what they did because, like you just stated, they just devalued the move of the Tongan Death Grip. Why bring it out and then the commentary talking about how dangerous the move is and how it's efficient, and they talk about, oh, the Tongans only use it in certain instances, and then it doesn't work against Roman Reigns, who's then going to probably take some time off from television for it. And
then they brought it back on Raw. They had him do it again on Raw after killing it.
Exactly. And it's crazy. It makes the push, as Howard Cosell used to say, meretricious, which is nothing more than something that is superficially pretty but hollow on the inside. And they've just basically turned that into something that nobody really can look at because they just killed it right in front of you.
Yup. So within all of that, what is it that
Netflix just had the roast of Kevin Hart. We should have the roast of WWE writers. I mean, what are these people coming up with these days?
Yes.
I am above the mindset that this is just genuinely Roman being a placeholder until they can go ahead and build Oba enough to take the title off him. I firmly believe that's what the move is here. That is what the case has to be, right? What else can they possibly be doing that is going to be big enough for Roman Reigns post-Clash in Italy? Because I'm hearing that he's supposed to be there, and then he isn't going to be at Night of Champions.
And hopefully the way that they've done this, that they don't start to spiral Oba out of control as far as killing the momentum that they built for him. Let's hope that they can kind of handle that push the right way, because it can easily be built up and then brought down based on things that they are not doing. So let's see where they go from there.
Yo, shout out Twitch, X, YouTube. Thanks for watching. This show is on fire right now. This show is hot. If you're not watching this, tell your friends, your family, tell your cat. Your cat's sleeping. Wake it up.
Put the cat in the pedigree. Do it.
Yeah, okay. Peeps just advocated for animal cruelty. I don't know if that's to be okay.
What a piece of shit. And he's supposed to be the baby face. He's supposed to be the...
Damn it, Peeps. Damn. But all in all, when it comes down to it, that was my thoughts on Raw. But when it pertains to SmackDown, I know that Mr. 401, you had a thought about what should probably be the main event of Clash in Italy, Cody and Gunther. What's your thoughts on that whole storyline as of now?
Yeah, well, last night a lot transpired, as we saw with Royce Keys coming out instead of Gunther right away to take the challenge. And what was interesting there is that, I mean, still, here's a question I have right here. Does anyone know who Royce Keys is? Because I'm not hearing it. Are you guys hearing it? When he came out again, there was nothing. I felt bad. And it's not even his fault. I mean, a lot of people talk about how many WWE fans were actually watching Dynamite to see Royce Keys or Powerhouse Hobbs. Not enough, apparently, because he's just not getting it. I mean, if you're going to cheer the guy, he just looks like a beast, right? He looks like a beast. He's somebody worth cheering just looking at him, face value, right? But do they know about him? I don't think they do. Yeah. The finish to this match, by the way, I liked it because the Solo comes out, gets involved, looked like he's cheering him on. Well, I mean, I know he's trying to recruit him, right? That was the story. He's trying to recruit him to the MFTs, and then Royce Keys just throws a chair at him, and then Gunther, which this was the best part, he had tried previously 2 occasions to choke him out, and he couldn't. So they kind of kept Keys strong in this sense by having him getting beaten with the powerbomb. So I like that he didn't tap. Now, the match itself, what do you do with this match? Do you have a screwy finish? You can't beat Gunther clean, and does Cody have to have the damn belt? Can we beat Cody, for the love of God? Guys, tell me.
Yeah. Probably not. Probably.
I would hope. If this is what they're going to be doing, right? My thought process is that Gunther should win the WWE Championship. I think that there is well over a case to where you had the man retire how many WWE stars within the last year, and now you're going to create Homelander in God's green earth as Cody to defeat Gunther in a European city.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine the vitriol that WWE would get if Cody goes over in Italy?
And that's the reason why it'll probably happen.
Yeah,
just for that exact reason.
If Cody ever turns heel, they're gonna give him the V1 like Homelander. He could be immortal.
Yes.
I would hope that's not what they do though. Because
you got to understand the thinking of WWE when it comes to booking these kinds of things down the road. Cody and TKO are in lockstep right now, even though the wrestlers and the talent are vocally upset with their meddling and booking. But let's really be honest, as far as the face of the company, the face of WWE, it's Cody. Cody is going to probably hold on to that belt at least until SummerSlam. And then they figure something out by then. But wait,
let's book right now, though. Let's book right now. So who's the guy that's going to beat him then? Because if it's not Gunther, then to Rich's point, why did they do everything with the retiring? There's still more guys for Gunther to retire, right? We talked about them. Mysterio and who am I forgetting? Lesnar. We don't know what Lesnar is actually doing. We have no idea about Lesnar. But
now that would be my thought, right? Let's just say, right, that WrestleMania happened, and come Italy, Brock Lesnar returns and takes out Gunther.
I like that. Okay, that works. That's the only way you could beat him. Yes.
Because now Heyman is issuing out the opportunities for Gunther to get shots at the title.
Yes.
When, in Brock's mind, Brock could be sitting there saying, "Oh, so you waited for me to leave just for you to go ahead and ride this man's coattails to give him every single shot that you could have given me in the process as of right now? Why couldn't I go ahead and get a shot at the title? Why couldn't I be the one main eventing? But no, instead you're going to Gunther. And now the fact that you just wrote me off as if nothing ever happened and you're okay with my retirement and you're just going to move on tells me that I have to kill whatever's in front of him."
That's it. Rich, is there another scenario? Is there anybody from Gunther's past that would make sense to help him to beat him? Because Cody cannot beat him clean. 1,000% cannot beat him clean.
No.
Absolutely not. And being that Brock has a respect for Cody to where he shook Cody's hand in the middle of the ring at SummerSlam 2 to 3 years ago, I can see a sense of him showing up at Italy to
kind of like as a favor to Cody.
As a favor to Cody, but also as a slap in the face to Paul Heyman, which would then cue that match to genuinely send off Brock, in which Brock can go ahead and put over, Gunther. That's if they were to actually do that and Brock genuinely gets the proper send-off in his hometown. But if that's not what they're going to do, what else can it possibly be but other than having Gunther win that match? If Gunther doesn't win that match, a lot of people are going to have a lot to say. And then I feel like TKO is just going to sit there and be like, "Oh, well, blame Triple H."
Yeah.
Well, which we can't. We know that.
Yes.
Triple H would put the title on him in a heartbeat. Now, granted, what would be next for... I don't know. Who do you think is next? Where are we jumping the line with anybody? Who do you think is... Like, if it's not Gunther, who's beating Cody? Because I want you guys to answer that one.
I feel that currently right now, Cody is on cruise control as well.
Is it Punk? I know we're going to talk about him in a minute.
And for me, that would be my dark horse.
Yeah.
Although I see Punk in a much more Money in the Bank situation, being able to take the title off of either one of those individuals, whether it be Reigns or whether it be Cody. Again, we remember, he said after WrestleMania, you never know at any given moment in which a world championship opportunity can just drop in the palm of my hands.
Exactly.
What else can you possibly be alluding to other than Money in the Bank? I would love to see Punk holding Money in the Bank again. That symbolizes power to him.
But here's another thing.
Going to 3 for 3, but
what we just talked about earlier, we talked about the vision. And if you're going to have the title, and if it stays on Roman, we don't know what the future there is. Roman as a heel or tweener, whatever they got him doing right now, right? If you're not going to have Jacob beat him, who, as we said, are now portraying as some kind of a heel, well then, Logan Paul, Braun Breaker, and Austin Theory could be a challenger for Cody Rhodes on the other brand, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but that would have to come down to when they choose to do the draft or the Superstar Scrabble, because you got to remember, 2 years ago they were instantly going ahead and doing the draft within the next 2 weeks post WrestleMania. We're damn near going into the end of May. We still have yet to even hear about a draft. So,
which makes you wonder if they're even going to do a draft this time.
Exactly. So, again, let's just give it time. Although, look, I'm giving it until the end after Clash in Italy to see what the thought process is. Because there's that. There's the thought of a John Cena Classic, which has no innuendos.
Oh, dear God.
But you know what? I digress. First one of the day. You're not going to have me talking about it today. Nope. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Because even that's just bad.
Hey, I'm adding a digress to that also. That made no sense.
What else could come out of a box?
Oh, man.
From there, we move to the next piece of news here on 3 Talk. It is CM Punk being held from TV. We haven't seen CM Punk since the Raw after WrestleMania.
Yes.
Of course, we know that. But isn't it kind of odd that we're literally going into Clash in Italy there, and it seems that Punk isn't going to have a match, Punk isn't going to be there. Peeps, what is it that we're hearing about CM Punk and him not being on television right now?
Well, from what we've heard from Uncle Dave, and mind you, keep that in mind.
Grain of salt.
Yes, with the more like a handful of salt on that one. He's basically reporting that CM Punk is going to probably miss some dates, not so much all television, but it's going to be a lot of house dates because there are the European tour, and there are a lot of house shows that are going to be happening between May 28th and June 22nd. And the June 22nd show is going to be in the O2 Arena in London. So apparently he's going to miss some of those dates, but he will be back for July 6th, which is supposed to be in Chicago. You're definitely not going to have CM Punk on the roster of Miss Chicago. The 13th, the following week, is in Dallas. The week after that is Detroit. The week after that is in Los Angeles. And then August 3rd is in Des Moines, Iowa. So those dates are still on so far that we know for CM Punk to show up. As far as what's going to be happening over the next few weeks and what they do now, it seems to be mostly house show dates that are going to be the issue as far as scheduling goes.
Okay. So it's not anything internally if he's just not wanting to be on TV, because we know, of course, sometimes main event of WrestleMania, you do get that long sabbatical of a vacation and time off. So this is just genuinely scheduling conflicts and giving him more time off.
And it doesn't seem that he's going to, unless there's something that we haven't heard of about going to Riyadh, because I know they're going to Riyadh, was it June 28th, for another Premium Live event, and we haven't heard anything about him being on the show or not. So I guess within the next couple of weeks, they'll probably figure that out and find out where they're going to be with that.
Got it. Well then, look, from there, we can move to our next piece of news, and it's about an old WWE star that we all know of as one half of the Rockers, Marty Jannetty. He has gotten his foot amputated. Of course, this was a story that has been driven for the last couple of months, and we have been given updates about it while we were hearing things, and now we finally know that it actually happened, right?
Yes, and it was through Eddie Mansfield. For those that don't know who he is, he was a wrestler from way back in the 80s who was on a 2020 special that, as they were trying to do a story where they were exposing kayfabe in professional wrestling, and Eddie Mansfield was one of those people that was on the show and literally showed how wrestlers blade themselves on camera.
And why? So, tell me why he did that. Do you remember the story why he did it?
I believe he was upset that he wasn't getting signed to a contract for WWF at the time, and he was
blacklisted. He got blacklisted from the industry for other reasons. Like he was just not the guy that he was. I don't know. There was just a lot of like behind the scenes with Mansfield. So he said, "I'm going to reveal all this."
Yeah, it's almost kind of like the masked magician that was showing all of the tricks. It's like, you know what, I want to change the everything. So let me just show you how all of the sausage is made. So this is basically what Eddie Mansfield did. Now, apparently, he's a close friend of Marty Jannetty's, and he was on another podcast, and he was talking about how Marty Jannetty, who we've talked about over the last year about his foot issues because of the Dark Side of the Ring story that they did on Marty Jannetty, and his foot had been in really bad shape. So on the show, he basically said a quote that the WWE didn't really reach out to him as they've done for other wrestlers in the past who have been injured. And this is a quote that Mansfield said initially. And he said his ankles were screwed up by a WWE wrestling ring and making them a lot of money, him and Shawn Michaels. When I can remember Marty, where he could hardly walk, his ankles bothered him so bad, he was in so much pain, the pain pills really didn't do anything for him. Where in the hell was WWE to help Marty Jannetty? He made this company millions of dollars, and you can't help him when he's in the biggest of need in his life, fighting for his life. These guys at WWE can all do these pay raises, but you can't take care of the guys who make the money, which is a sentiment that a lot of people have brought up.
I'm going to ask a question right now because sometimes I forget who's in and who's not. Is Jannetty in the Hall of Fame?
No.
Okay, so why does he think that they're going to take care of a guy that is essentially dumped on the whole business for years, right? Think about all the stuff Jannetty has outed, even about Shawn Michaels, you name it. Shawn Michaels, by the way, Hunter, right? Connection. Why would they help a man who does the things he has done?
Yes. And even though the WWE has shown a reputation to help people, even those that have been on the roster that have not been shown in the brightest of lights, they have helped other wrestlers in the past. But Jannetty is a different case in the sense that, as we just said before, the controversy of him talking about he offed somebody when he was younger, the controversy of him apparently, I think, having an affair with a daughter or something along those lines. He's gone on to social media and talked about certain things. And although Jannetty has probably garnered a great deal of fan likability from a lot of the people on social media, and they do cheer for him, he has, in a lot of instances, because of substance abuse and some of the other things that he's done, he has done a lot to hurt himself and his reputation over the years. You remember, Shawn Michaels helped bring him in to be a tag partner some years ago for Monday Night Raw. And it was basically a tryout, and he did well. The fans received him, and then he eventually no-showed the next week.
Right. He's his own worst enemy. There's a lot of guys in the business that have been their own worst enemy. He's at the top of the list. By the way, if you ever encounter Marty Jannetty going forward and he's really angry and he says he's going to kick in the ass, at least you don't have to guess which foot.
Oh, boy. That's when we put the disclaimer in. Oh, good grief.
I did that for Rich. Look at Rich's reaction. It just sold it completely.
Oh, boy.
You gotta. I know you must be pissed off that I wasn't drinking something at that point. Because
that's why I wait.
It's nature's gimmick. That's nature's gimmick. Come on now.
But all in all, look, hope the best for Marty Jannetty. Even though, again, like Chris said, he's his own worst enemy. But in this sense, it's, of course, like, it's saddening. But get well. We hope that he's at least going ahead and trying to. I'm not gonna say it. But, he can at least recuperate. I was about to say get back on his feet, but,
oh, my
God.
Oh, man. Oh, the puns are just, good grief.
Oh, jeez. Okay, guys, our last piece of news here on Three Rope Talk is our review of AEW Dynamite this past Wednesday. MJF is going to go bald, ladies and gentlemen.
Hasn't he had the surgery done to prevent that? Didn't he do the reverse?
Yeah, apparently he went to Turkey. This is what was explained in the storyline with Darby Allin. He went to Turkey to get hair transplants.
Right. Everyone's doing that.
Now I'm guessing if they actually go through with this and MJF does lose and he's shaved, I guess this would be for some sort of role. Some sort of movie role where he would need to be completely bald or whatever was the case.
Can you imagine them? Oh, God.
That is going to be weird. That would definitely be weird.
But of course, we know now that he signed the contract for Double or Nothing. That match is going to happen, him against Darby Allin.
Yes.
It's funny. I don't know if you guys caught the I think it was like after that where MJF was kind of like talking to Don Callis and Konosuke Takeshita backstage, and he told Takeshita, "Hey, look, don't worry. The minute I go ahead and get the title, I'll go ahead and defend it against you, and we'll main event a show together." And Takeshita went ahead and shook his hand and said something in, Japanese.
But of course, MJF thinking it's okay. Takeshita literally said, and I'll translate it for you, I will kick your ass 100%, you bastard.
Okay, that would have been nice if they would have put the closed caption on the bottom of that.
So enlighten me on what's going on in Dynamite. I know Darby's the champion. He's beating everybody left and right. What is the plan for this pay-per-view upcoming next weekend? Who's his opponent going to be?
Well, Darby's defending the AEW World Title against MJF.
For the hair.
For the hair. That's the hair match.
All right.
What they've been doing as far as what it looks like, so for the last 5 weeks since Darby's won the championship, he's basically done about 5 months of title defenses in that short span.
That I've seen.
And they've done a job of building him as a credible champion, at least in the way that they've been trying to build him. And those matches have been pretty good. The one that they just did, the most recent one before Takeshita, was the match on Saturday for what was a 1 hour kind of like a collision spot that they did between himself and Pac. And the reason why it was interesting is because they did it at SoFi Field on a place where they played golf. They called the show, I think it was called Fairway to Hell. And they put the wrestling ring in the middle of one of these makeshift golf courses. And they had bunkers and fairways all around the place, and they were literally beating each other up in sand traps and trying to kill each other outside. So the visual for it was interesting, but that's what they've been doing. So you figure it's been Ciampa, the first title defense that
everyone said that match was amazing. I didn't see it.
That was a really good. As a matter of fact, that and the Takeshita matches were the two best matches of the titles matches that he's defended in.
Apparently, Meltzer gave the Ciampa match 5 stars. I didn't. Yeah, I don't know if it was worth that high, but
the next week was Brody King. The one after that was the match with Kevin Knight, which was a really good match. The one with Pac, and then the one with Takeshita. So that's 5 weeks since he won the championship, and in those 5 weeks, having title matches and defending the AEW title, with MJF coming out and trying to tell everybody he's going to be winning the championship, that he wants the championship.
So here's the next question. Does MJF have any... Now, you said, okay, if he shaves his head, it could be for a role. What do we know about his future upcoming roles? Because if you're going to push Darby the way they have and have him beaten everybody, well, then should he just retain and beat MJF unless he doesn't have a role? What do you guys know?
Well, they haven't pushed anything else since the last time we looked at the reports and found out what his roll calls are going to be as far as his future bookings. But if the plan is he's going to lose this championship, if let's say, okay, devil's advocate, he loses the championship, he takes some time off. When he comes back, as I had been talking about before, I thought that the money match was going to be for London between MJF and potentially Will Ospreay for the AEW World title.
As it should be, right?
As it should be.
Yeah.
Now, if that's not the case and they're going in that route, what are they going to do? Are they going to have Darby Allin hold on to that championship until then? Because I don't think that would make much sense at all.
No
way.
And Darby versus Ospreay isn't as big, I don't think, in the fans' eyes. I mean,
compared to
I don't think Ospreay, even though what they're doing with Ospreay now, which is kind of confusing, is they basically have Ospreay training with the Death Riders.
Yeah, I heard about that. No, it's not confusing.
You know
it's
what?
Stupid.
I like it only because of the fact that in New Japan, the United Empire has something to say about that within the likes of Callum Newman. Which I think that's probably going to be a match that we'll see towards down the line after Double or Nothing, probably Forbidden Door. I would love to see that match because, again, they have been kind of like building the story more in New Japan than they should in AEW. But I have to say they're doing a good job so far. If you guys haven't caught that, you guys have to see it. Tell
me how any of this is helping the ticket sales for Wembley, because according to my reports, or not my reports, I see a WrestleTix, is that the numbers have not moved at all.
You know, I think within the sense they bought enough tickets because what is it at now? Like 20-something thousand?
So you think there's going to be a huge walk up based on the main event kind of thing? Like when they finally announce the card, they're going to get another 20 to 30,000. You see that happening?
Yes.
So you think they get 45, 50 again?
I think so. Look, we got time. We got time till till All In.
So people are just waiting. I got it. Okay.
Just waiting. Because again, like the last 2 All-Ins, were great. What you got at Texas was even crazier for a lot of domestic wrestling fans.
Yes.
Wasn't that woke up like 10,000 for the last day or something like that?
Yes.
Yup. So,
and also, if you look at the top of the card, if you know Ospreay will potentially be in the main event, if you realize that the Brawling Birds might get an AEW Women's Tag Team Championship match on the card in London, that could sell a lot more tickets going in if it's built up the right way.
Are they going against the Flying Dykes?
Oh, Lord.
That's a great tag team name, though.
Oh, Lord.
And this comes off the heels of Master Sean going ahead and actually saying something in the comments live. He says, "We need more edgy jokes from Mr. 411. Keep them coming."
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Oh, by the way, that as far as what happened on Dynamite, Kevin Knight is continuing this TNT Championship Open. And he defended his TNT Championship against, drum roll, Brian Cage.
He's back? Cage is back?
He's been back for the first time in 14 months.
Well, he knocked up Melissa Santos enough times. How many kids do they have, Melissa Santos? I'd spend a lot of time knocking that up. Oh, my goodness. He doesn't have a bad day.
No, he doesn't. But apparently, if he's going to wrestle on television, he does. Because
that's how he burns calories instead of wrestling all the whole damn time. Let's keep it $150.
Think about that. First match in 14 months, he gets a title shot and loses.
But is it any good? I mean, I know a Brian Cage match is a Brian Cage match. So
it was a decent match, and it was, I think, just for the optics of seeing Brian Cage on camera for the first time in so long. But at the same time, we know that Kevin Knight and Brian Cage in a match, that clash of styles aesthetically on camera is so glaring that one would wonder how Kevin Knight would win a match like that, all things given equal. And
is
that's
Brian Cage is he still gassed to the gills?
Very. Yes.
No, he's good. Listen, he's going to go to the grave like Billy Gunn. They're just super gassed. Like Billy Gunn is what, 55, 56? He still looks like he's like a 25-year-old. Yeah. That's how gassed he is.
Indeed.
Still a huge human being. Yes.
Indeed. But from there, that marks the end of Three Rope Talk here on Same. Peeps, we've now gotten to the part of the show where we go ahead and get our ratings. Give us a rating.
And the ratings for this week, as we talked about last week, NXT beat AEW for the first time in 10 weeks. AEW took back that throne after that 1 week change. AEW did 585,000 with a 0.10 in the demo. NXT did, get this, 498,000 with a 0.06. That is the lowest rating and demo rating that they've had since they moved to the CW that was not preempted or moving around or wasn't a special show.
Thank you, Mason Rook.
Yeah.
He's big. He's bad. He'll body slam your dad. You know what? I digress.
He'll destroy your ratings, apparently.
Yes.
Wait. Yeah. So what do we think about? So a big stuff has been made about him online. I've heard other shows talk about him and all this other stuff. And most people, as I agree with, are not impressed by this guy at all. Like, I don't know what anyone is seeing that I'm not. Tell me what I'm missing here.
I've seen one match of his, and he's just a super heavyweight that can do certain things.
So he's Vader. He's Bigelow.
Yes. Bigelow, Vader, Bronson Reed, if you want to throw him in that equation as well.
He's not Walter from NXT UK or Rev Pro. That's not him.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because again, he could do the moonsaults, he could do the swan taunts. He
missed that moonsault, by the way. He missed it.
Yeah.
It was not close.
Yes.
And the promo, I was just like lukewarm on the promo, right?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, he almost called himself his real name in the promo, and he called himself.
Oh, God.
So yeah. So it's one of those things. As far as the other ratings, and here's the funnier thing: we talk about Backlash, and we talked about WrestleMania when they showed their first hour on television for ESPN. Backlash they did the first hour on ESPN2, and they did 998,000 viewers with a 0.33 in the demo. So this kind of looked like an ordinary sporting show, sporting night on Saturday for ESPN.
Hold on. You just said sub 1 million?
Yes.
That's crazy.
They did 998,000. And even worse, the demo was 0.33 for the first hour of Backlash on ESPN2. Now, maybe it was because it's ESPN2 and not ESPN. Maybe that might have something to do with it.
No, not anymore. No way.
Their ratings, the ratings for this should not be anywhere. If they're doing pay-per-view quality stuff for the first hour, they should be getting what they got for WrestleMania on a regular basis or something close.
But didn't night one go on ESPN2, and how much was that?
That was over 1.7 million or 1.8 million, I think. So either it's a
900,000 drop.
Yes. So either the fans didn't care for the card, or it wasn't. It's not for lack of promotion, because a lot of wrestlers were on the ESPN networks promoting the hell out of the show.
Yes.
You saw them on different shows on the ESPN networks. So they did. It's not like they can say that they didn't have any promotion. So maybe the fans didn't watch, maybe partially because of sports, but others, they just didn't care for the card.
Look,
the casual is dead. I'm sorry. The casual is almost dead.
Yeah.
Yep.
And speaking of dead ratings also, TNA's last week's, their ratings, we didn't get a chance to, 164,000.
In memoriam.
Yes. With a 0.02 in the demo. So yes.
This is crazy considering the fact that on the East Coast, where wrestling is literally ratified and gratified and loved,
Yes.
there is no playoff basketball for this past week.
Yes, exactly.
So it's like you sit there and you look at that and you're like, well, holy hell. Like, what's going on?
It's okay. You know what? TNA is okay because when they get canceled off AMC, at least they could go join the Comet TV network like Billy Corgan did with his NWA.
Or maybe they moved to Tubi.
Guys, please. So go YouTube NWA. There was a match recently. I just turned it on with this big fat guy against this other guy who looked like he didn't belong. It's embarrassingly bad. Like the NWA, I don't know how anyone would watch that product. It's so bad.
And it wasn't that long ago that when the NWA was exclusively on YouTube, the product was actually pretty good with, Nick Aldis as world champion.
Oh, yeah. Guys left. Didn't the guy who played the question mark, he died, right?
I believe so.
Right.
And there was actually a pretty interesting card. The aesthetics made it look like 605 Eastern on the Superstation from the 80s. They had good camera work and the in-ring work was good, and it's fallen off a cliff.
I don't know how they're in business. Billy Corgan definitely losing money with this company. It's so bad.
Yeah.
But hey, Tony Khan blows billions, right?
I mean, that's what you get when you give Tyrus a platform and you get him to go on the Fox network. But I digress.
A shout out to Mark Davis winning the almost said the NWA national title, the AEW national title on Saturday's show. So
although I'll say this, the only thing good about the NWA is that former Spirit Squad, Mike Mondo, is actually like their national the NWA national champion, which is what?
Yes.
Who's holding? Is Ricochet still hold that title or someone else does now?
No,
who's the national champion?
on AEW. Mark Davis just won the belt Saturday, as a matter of fact.
Mark Davis, thank God. They've been beating that guy for a year.
Yes.
Let's be honest. I hear other talk shows where people talking about Mark Davis, and he's actually not bad in the ring. And
he's good.
His pile driver is one of the best I've ever seen. It's an amazing pile driver, and I'm happy for him that he finally got a title.
It's almost a gonzo bomb the way he does it. It looks that good.
Really good.
Yes.
I mean, look, it seems like the Don Callis family's out here trying to go ahead and hold all the gold, which I do not have a problem with. But all in all, from there, we move to our question of the week. Guys, this one comes in from one Long Island Isaiah. He says, is it just me, or Saraya was just a WrestleMania surprise shimmering in that moment? I just can't see her still being in a tag team with Brie Bella.
Didn't they win again last night?
Yeah.
Yes.
But I have to say, it wasn't as like, loud cheers or anything. It seemed like people cared. That I get where he's coming from with that, but it's like, what are we expecting from Saraya at this current point in time? Like, is
nothing. No, let's be honest. It's a miracle she's still wrestling based on the injuries she's sustained over the years. Just be happy she's there. No one's gonna listen. When you go away for a long time, it's hard to ever relive. Like, has Becky Lynch ever been back to where she was in her career? No, you can't get back there. It's hard. It's really hard to get back.
Yeah. And I think this is more of a nostalgia run for her. I think it's the fact that she's been out of WWE for so long and the fact that she's there, but also to team her with Brie Bella, that's out of necessity due to the fact that her sister is hurt. So if that wasn't the case, then there might not have been the urgency to bring her on television in the fashion that they did. And also they would have done something different.
So apparently I got reports that the yes chant actually started in the bedroom when Daniel Bryan asked Brie Bella if he could go back door. Yes. Yes.
Mr. 411 on top as always.
Lord have mercy. Guys,
Lord
thank you
mercy.
for going ahead and tuning into Saturday afternoon's main event. Of course, that was the question of the week coming from Long Island Isaiah. You guys can go ahead and send in your question of the week as well. If you guys feel that it is that damn good, send it in on our Instagram DMs at Saturday afternoons _main event. And in the words of the Wrestling God WWE Hall of Famer JBL, I guarantee you will be on the next episode of the show. But with that being said, we got to our final topic for today. And it is the further impact of TKO on WWE. How can we possibly put this? Okay, look, they think revenue is up. Okay, cool, whatever. They say that they're selling out shows, although within certain arenas, they're going ahead and limiting the space and the seats that they open.
It's a fraud sellout. It's a fraudulent sellout. It's been being done in the business for several years.
Yes,
exactly. So fraudulent sellouts. Ratings decreasing drastically, NXT not even being a highlight anymore as much as it was prior. Certain stars leaving because they're not going to be taking pay cuts to those that actually took the pay cuts.
Rich, speaking of NXT, didn't HBK, wasn't he interviewed somewhere, maybe on the Carmelo podcast, where he kind of revealed that guys are not ready, even though they're there and on TV? Tell me about that. I heard something.
Yep. And I feel as if part of him is genuinely just trying to be like, what's the word? Sincere about it, due to the fact that we do understand that now NXT is no longer a third brand from what they used to call it. It is developmental once more,
Yes.
And they're taking all of the odds by trying to play certain wrestlers on TV. They get the work, they get the rubs, just so they can be prepared if they were to move on to the main roster later on. So it's like, with him saying that they're not ready, I don't find any flaw in that, because from what they're telling us, we consider this developmental. So that maybe they shouldn't be ready. Maybe they're not ready. As pertains to the individuals that they're moving up, who are ready, who are showing that they're somewhat students of the game, like JC Jane, in which I'm hearing that now a lot of creative has changed for her and a fatal influence since their debut on SmackDown because of the way that the crowds are reacting to her.
Yes.
Which I'm saying she is doing some of the best work right now in her career. So I can't wait to see what comes of that. But all in all, TKO is having some crazy impact on the WWE so far. And I just want to know, as we're about to end the show, what are your thoughts on it? This is a 4-on-1?
By the way, if you look at the screen right now and the way the MA looks with the it looks like it could be TV MA, which would be apropos for this show. TV MA, because you never know what I'm going to say.
Especially after that genetic joke.
Oh, you mean the Brie Bella wasn't worse? So we just do a rundown of the jokes?
Oh man!
Listen, we know it's not going to get any better, and until are they going to sell? If they do sell, it's going to be the Saudi. Where, by the way, if Unk goes to WrestleMania next year, the Phenomenal One's going to get left in Saudi.
My name now is Mohammed Phenomenal One Baghdadi. Do not forget the name, okay? I was talking about Iron Dome just to build up for that, but okay.
How much involvement they have really behind the scenes and such in terms of the product and not caring about the fans and creative and Triple H. It's I don't know, how is it going to get better? It's not.
Especially when you're bringing guys up that the immediate impact of TKO as far as storyline development or involvement that they've been showing, and also what they've done to cut the roster down. Because as we reported on the show, starting sometime in June, SmackDown is going to be going back to 2 hours, and they're going to probably stay that way until around January when they get back to the Royal Rumble WrestleMania season to try to take advantage of the advertising dollars. So for the most part, TKO is all about their bottom line. Now, how does that affect others with as far as rosters and development of talent, etc.? Well, usually we have a lot of talent being brought up and moved up from different rosters. We talk about NXT moving wrestlers to the main roster. So I'll give you a couple of wrestlers. Ricky Saints, who we talked about, had a very lukewarm reception. Maybe you could say it was lackluster depending on your eyeballs.
The promo failed.
The promo was flat. He's had 3 matches on the main roster. He lost to Cody, which nobody was expecting him to in that one. He had a match with Matt Cardona, which he won. And then he lost on SmackDown to Carmelo Hayes, who had been completely disappeared for about a month or so.
Yep.
So Sol Ruka, who we know as one of the stars of NXT, she hasn't won a match since she's been on the main roster, since they called her up. She had her Raw debut. She lost against Liv. She had a match with, it was the last woman standing match to kind of close out with her commitment to NXT with Zarya to put her over on her way out the door. And then she had the match with Io Sky, which she lost. And when you bring those kinds of roster talents up there, if you're trying to make money by building those wrestlers when they come up, you have to make it so that the wins and losses that they have are important. Now, true, the matches were good, but wins and losses actually do matter when it comes to getting others over and getting people over and getting you to sell the fact that why should I care about this particular talent? Certain wrestlers can absorb losses better than others. But when they're young and they're just starting to get noticed, that can be a problem getting guys over. And a perfect example, we talked about Royce Keys earlier. He lost a match that nobody was really expecting him to win, but they haven't done anything to really build him up. And his reactions have been lukewarm. So what do you do from that? I'd say it was tepid. I'll put it.
You know what we didn't talk about? That return, because we talked about a hiatus for people coming off WrestleMania and losing titles like Punk. Jade, what did they do with her last night? Because I just saw a YouTube headline. I didn't watch the video. What did they do with her?
Yes, they brought her back. They brought her back for a tag. She was in the corner of Michin and B-Fab. And that's kind of what they did with that. So
then was the reason as to why they lost the match, because of disqualification, and then she attacked the holy hell out of Alexa Bliss. Yes. So
Has Julia been seen anywhere?
Yeah, another loss alongside Kiana James.
Yes, and then showing her arguing in the locker room. No, it was during, I forgot whose promo. Somebody was cutting a promo, and they show Kiana James and Julia are arguing against each other.
Backstage. So,
You know what we got to say, guys? It's TK hell no. TK hell no.
Yeah,
indeed. I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
And there was one guy that showed up that was not initially part of these cuts, but has been cut from WWE that showed up in TNA, and that's Fabian Eichner. And if that name doesn't really sound familiar,
yes,
Giovanni Vinci.
Da Vinci.
Yes, he's now in TNA. He showed up at the end of Leon Slater losing the X Division Championship.
What's his name now?
He's going by his real name, which is Fabian Eichner.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I forgot that. Yeah.
Yes. So it seems like a lot of the things that are happening with TKO, even though the Eichner one is not a TKO cut per se, it's the tentacles of wrestlers that are out there in the ether. it's going to have a widespread effect on other companies going forward. And it's a matter of, let's see what happens there. We know the Wyatt Six, we talked about them before. They're going to be doing some kind of an independent show where they've all gone to their indie names. So we'll see what happens from there.
You know what it comes down to? The goddamn evil white man ruins everything.
As you can hear in the background, thank God I think I queued it on the right second. But guys, this marks the end of the final topic. This marks the end of today's show. We appreciate you guys for going ahead and tuning in, whether you were watching on Twitch, Twitter, or YouTube. We thank you guys for all the love and support. Go ahead and follow us on all of our social media platforms. Follow us on our Twitch, Twitter, and our YouTube. Guys, again, like, subscribe, share, comment, repost. We love all of the support through and through. And we thank you guys for going ahead and tuning in on this episode.
And more importantly, if you could get Nate a plane ticket to Turkey, one way, please. One way.
Peeps, someone had to say it. I'm sorry. But
I understand.
Guys, this was Saturday afternoon's main event. We're at a phenomenal one.
And I, the Peeps Nate.
Who needs a hair transplant?
Get us out of here. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. We came, we saw it. In the words of the phenomenal wise man, Paul Heyman,
we conquered.
You know, I would always go ahead and call out Io for that, because why does it look like she, you know what? I digress. Guys,
there you go.
We conquered. See you next week.
Bukaki Warriors.
I guess that MA really does stand for what we're doing today. See you guys.
Peace, love, farewell.